Looks like we're almost ready to get going on the first leg of our European tour flight. Have you heard from the company yet?
Yep, just got a message. Our push back to Manchester should be on time. Got the passenger load and numbers as well.
Excellent. I suppose we should finish off our preparations then and file a flight plan. I'll check the weather first.
Did you remember to install the scenery updates for the tour?
Yep, I updated my scenery last night.
Good, me too. Do you want to look at the ATIS in Flight Desk or listen to live ATIS?
Let's check Flight Desk ATIS first. We'll use Live ATIS if something else changes later. I'll click on the Browser tab, then click List Current ATIS. Information Bravo is current, showing wind 050 at 6. No significant weather, and QNH 1013, so we'll be departing runway 05.
Okay, let's check the preferred route for runway 05.
I'll sign in the BVA's website, load up the BVATC events page, and then open the pop-up window with the details. Looking at the preferred route section, I can see that we need the route from Glasgow to Manchester in a jet aircraft.
So we're restricted at or below flight level 190.
Right, and we'll be using the new Galloway departures, along with the Rosen 1 Alpha arrival. Let me also download the preferred route while I'm here.
Good idea. Even though we will be navigating the first part of our flight using the old-fashioned instruments, let's back up the navigation by loading the flight plan into our GPS.
Sounds good. I'll use the second table, preferred route downloads. We're in a jet, we'll be assigned runway 05, so it's the last zip file that we need. I'll download and save that now.
Great. While you're doing that, I'm going to browse to BVA's chart application and print off all the information we need. If we were flying in our Dash 8, we would have to use the tally departures for non-jet aircraft, the third one down. But we're in a 737, so I'll print out the new Galloway departure. Since we'll depart runway 05, we need the new Galloway 3 Juliet departure, the one that starts northeast. We would use the 2 hotel departure if runway 23 were active.
And I've got the flight plan just about ready. Even though we're going to fly the old-fashioned way, slant alpha navigation, for part of the flight, we still have a GPS and plan to use it. So I'll use slant golf as the suffix, okay?
Sounds good.
Now that our flight plan is filed, you can call for clearance whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'll do that now. What's the frequency?
Let's check flight desk. It looks like Glasgow ground is online on 121.60.
Glasgow ground, Speedbird 710, Bravo, stand 12, Boeing 737 with information Quebec, QNH 1006, request clearance. Speedbird 710, Bravo, cleared to Manchester, New Galloway 3, Juliet departure, squawk 2316. Cleared to Manchester, squawk 2316, Speedbird 710, Bravo. Speedbird 710, Bravo, read that correct, advise ready for start.
Good job with the IFR clearance, and they confirmed we were on the 3 Juliet departure off runway 05. Let's finish our programming.
I'll load the flight plan into the GPS by clicking on Alt to bring up the menu, and then Flights, Flight Planner. Once I click Load and find the plan file I saved, I'll click OK.
Remember to click No when it asks you to move your starting point, otherwise we'll end up on the active runway.
Yeah, I doubt ATC would like that. There we go. The flight plan is loaded and we can see the route in our GPS.
Great, but I'll be flying with the regular instruments and be using the GPS as a backup only, so let's do a departure briefing.
It's a bit of a tricky one. Looking at the chart, it appears we're supposed to track the Glasgow Radial 053 outbound direct Zexus, the 4.9 DME fix. We have to cross that at or above 2000.
That shouldn't be a problem in this jet.
Right. And then we make a left turn to heading 248 degrees and intercept the Perth Radial 237 to Elbin, which we cross at 6000 and don't climb any higher. We'll know we've hit Elbin when we cross the Turnberry Radial 018.
Good, and then we stay at 6,000 until otherwise directed, right?
Exactly. So a click climb to 6000 and then no higher until ATC tells us. After Elbin, we'll keep tracking the Perth Radial 237 until we intercept the Turnberry Radial 007, then go direct to Norbo. Then turn left onto the new Galloway NDB 146 course. By this point, we'll be on our GPS and we should be good to go.
Sounds good. So now I'll try to think about how to do this. There's going to be a lot of VOR turning, so it'll definitely be helpful to have the GPS as a backup. I'll start with the main VOR tuned to Glasgow on 115.40 using the 053 radial. As soon as we hit the 4.9 DME Zexus, I'll start the turn and retune my VOR1 to Perth 110.4's 237 radial and set 237 as the course as well.
Before we take off, we should also have the second VOR set to the Turnberry 018 radial, so we know where Elbin is. Turnberry is 117.50. I'll set that now.
Perfect. Then once we cross Elbin, reset VOR2 for the Turnberry 012 radial and VOR1 for the Turnberry 007 radial. As soon as we see that VOR1 needle start to move, I'll make the turn toward Norbo. Once we're established on the radio, I'll turn on the GPS and let the computer take over.
That makes sense, although it sure is confusing. Good thing we had a chance to practice this in the simulator the other day.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, it looks like we've got the door closed and we're ready to go. Let's get moving.
Glasgow ground, Speedbird 710 Bravo, request start and push. Speedbird 710 Bravo, start approved when fully ready, push approved also.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has
Push
turned
start
on the
approved,
fasten
Speedbird
seatbelt
710
signs.
Bravo.
If you haven't already done so, please stow your carry-on luggage underneath the seat in front of you or in an overhead bin. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt at this time. Also, make sure your seat back and folding trays are in the full upright position. If you are seated next to an emergency exit, please read carefully the special instructions card located by your seat. If you do not wish to perform the functions described in the event of emergency, please ask a flight
Glasgow
attendant to
ground,
reseat
Speedbird
you. At this
710
time,
Bravo,
we request
request
that all
taxi.
mobile phones, pages,
Speedbird
radios, and
710
remote control
Bravo.
devices be turned off for the full
Taxi
duration.
holding point Golf 1, runway 05 via Lima Golf. Hold on Lima short of Golf, give way to a barrel taxiing right to left.
We request that
Speedbird
all other
710 Bravo,
electronic
taxi
devices
holding
be
point
turned
Golf
off
1, runway
until we fly
05
above
via
10,000
Lima
feet,
Golf.
and the
Hold
fastest
short
signal
Golf
sign
for passing bearing.
We will notify you when it is safe to use such devices. We remind you that this is a non-smoking
Speedbird
flight.
710 Bravo, hold short of taxiway Mike on Golf, give way to a 737 taking left turn to join Golf.
Is prohibited by law. If you have any questions about our flight today, please don't hesitate to ask one of our flight attendants. Thank you, and have a safe journey.
Speedbird 710 Bravo, hold short Mike on Golf for 737 taking that left turn. Glasgow Tower, Golf Bravo Juliet Delta Whiskey approaching holding point Delta 1, runway 05, fully ready. Golf Bravo Juliet Delta Whiskey, at departure, fly right-hand circuit. Right-hand circuit at departure, Golf Delta Whiskey. Golf Delta Whiskey, intersection Delta 1, clear for takeoff, runway 05. Speedbird 710 Bravo, your departure frequency today 119.1. Contact Glasgow Tower 118.8. Have a great flight, bye-bye. Speedbird 710 Bravo, departure frequency 119.1, contacting Tower 118.8. Good afternoon. Glasgow Tower, Speedbird 710 Bravo, approaching holding point Golf 1. Speedbird 710 Bravo, Glasgow Tower, clear takeoff, runway 05. Clear takeoff, runway 05, Speedbird 710 Bravo.
Okay, you all set to go?
Yep, I'm ready. Heading indicator shows 050, so we're on the right runway, and I've got the VOR tuned to the Glasgow radial 053.
Airspeed live. $80 knots.
Check.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb, you're up.
Gear up.
Speedbird 710 Bravo, contact Glasgow departure 119.1. Have a good day. Contact Glasgow departure 119.1, Speedbird 710 Bravo. Glasgow departure, Speedbird 710 Bravo, New Galloway 3, Juliet departure, passing altitude 2,500 feet, climbing to altitude 6,000 feet. Speedbird 710 Bravo, Glasgow departure, radar identified, climb flight level 100, no speed control, cancel altitude restriction at L-band. Climb flight level 100, no speed control, Speedbird 710 Bravo.
I've got the Glasgow 053 radio climbing towards Texas.
Glasgow approach EZ693 is with you at flight level 8030 miles northeast of Turnberry. EZ693, Glasgow approach, leave Turnberry heading at 030, vectoring for ILS 05, descent to altitude 3000 feet, QNH 1016. Depart Turnberry on a heading of 030 degrees, descend and maintain altitude 3000, 1016, expecting the ILS runway 05, EZ693.
Here's Texas. I'm turning on the autopilot. Left to at 248 heading, and I'll join the Perth radial 237.
Tulsa 484, descent flight level 120. Descent flight level 120, Thompson 484.
Now that I have a hand free, I'll retune my VOR to Perth on 110.40 and set the course to 237. We're cleared up to flight level 100, so I'll adjust that as well.
EZ693, 15 miles from touchdown, turn right, heading 030 degrees, descend to altitude 2000, report established on the localizer. 15 from touchdown, heading 030 degrees, and descend altitude 2000, will report on the localizer, runway 05, EZ693.
Before takeoff, I set the Turnberry 018 radio into the VOR2. Now we're crossing that, so I know we've passed Elman. But it doesn't matter since we're clear up to flight level 100 anyway. I'll reset that to the Turnberry 012 radial. I'll also hold this heading and change VOR1 to the Turnberry 007 radial.
Speedbird 710 Bravo, contact Scottish Control 136.575. Contact Scottish Control 136.575. Good day, Speedbird 710 Bravo.
Okay, there's the radio. I'll make the left turn to line up with that.
Since we're safely at our cruising altitude, let's review our plans for arriving in Manchester. Once again, I'll pull up the charts and we need to print them off. The Rosen 1 Alpha arrival, the airport diagram, and parking chart, of course, and we finally need the chart for approach.
Do we know which runway to expect?
The data says runway 05 right, ILS, IMC in use.
What's the difference between the two there?
It looks like one uses the DME off the ILS, and the other uses the Manchester VOR DME. I don't think it really matters which one we use, but the ATIS does say to use IMC, so let's take that one.
Okay, let's review the arrival first, and then the ILS.
The Rosen 1 Alpha arrival takes us from Dean Cross direct to Lakey, and then to Rosen. There's some restrictions. We need to cross Rosen at 230 knots. We won't descend until ATC specifically tells us to, but I think we'll be signed to cross Rosen at flight level 70. So let's be ready for that. After Rosen, ATC will give us vectors for the approach.
Sounds easier than the departure was for sure. And now let's brief the ILS.
An ILS chart from the UK gives us the same information as a US chart, but it certainly looks different. I'll note them in the transition altitude. The altitude where we start using a specific altimeter or QNH setting is 5,000. There is a maximum speed restriction of 210 knots. The localizer frequency is 111.55, and the approach course is 054 degrees. Since we're using the IMC, the DME is included on the localizer frequency. Remember, ATC will give us the descent and speed instructions at all times, including clearance to descend on the ILS, so we won't have to worry about too much of that.
Speedbird 710 Bravo, descend flight level 120, contact Manchester radar 118.575. Speedbird 710 Bravo, contact Manchester radar 118.575. Good night.
Okay, time to start our descent and approach into Manchester. Don't forget to grease that landing.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent into Manchester, make sure your seat backs and tray tables in the full upright position. Make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened and all carry-on luggage is stowed underneath the seat in front of you or in your helmet compartment. Please turn off all electronic devices before you are safely parked at the gate. Thank you.